Hello, my friends and enemies, and welcome to Var Nation Live. I'm your host, Rock Var. I have no enemies, I'm just playing around. I thought since I addressed my friends, I should also address my enemies. I like my friends and my enemies equally. Know thy num. Anyway, so it is day one, or actually day two, but it's the full day one of Stat Revamp. So yesterday, the Stat Revamp went live on DC Universe Online for PlayStation 3, 4, PC, and Xbox One. And, well, there was about 8 hours or more of downtime. And then once the game came up, it had to be taken down again briefly and restarted. And so today I'm going to count as the first full day. And so basically, last night was spent for me going through the YouTube channels and searching for different test footage from folks who had been live on test and worked on the different power sets so that I could kind of piece together what I thought would be my ideal loadouts and rotations for DPS. The first one that I saw, and it was really no surprise that I saw it, actually comes from OG Mentor, and I tweaked it a little bit to make it my own, but for the most part it is the loadout that he suggested on his page yesterday. He'd put one up on YouTube, and I also follow him to check that out, and it made Rage look so super cool that I focused on, the first thing I did was focus on Earth because that's what Rock is and that's where all my skill points are. And so I definitely wanted to see what I could do with Earth, but my second priority was Rage because most likely Rock is going to be turning to Rage here, maybe by the end of the night. I don't know. What's up? Todd Baker says, hey, how's the revamp going for you so far? Awesome Gamer 12 says, what's up, Var? Well, to answer your questions, hello to both of you. Thank you for joining the stream and the chat. The revamp has been a mixed bag for me so far. It started out exciting and a little confusing because there were different options, of course, even though I've watched some test server footage to see what the changes were going to be. It was still kind of like, well, I have all these options now, and I'm going to show in a minute what I'm talking about. Hello, Lizard Man. Thank you for joining the stream. And so then I pieced together my loadout for Earth. And I think I was using a pretty good one, to be honest with you. I should be able to recite the YouTuber that I got it from, but I can't because I didn't think that far ahead. But I tested it. I tested the rotation that I wanted to use for Earth. I was super excited about it. I went into the T8, my first T8 alert today with that loadout, and it was a damn disaster. That is the best way that I can put it. It was a damn disaster from beginning to end. So I'll give you a rundown of what happened. So the first thing that happens is IQ, he said, Lizard Man, the revamp made my life hell. It's looking up though for me. I'll tell you. I'll get to why. If you guys stick with me here for the stream, I'm going to walk you through the ins and outs of my roller coaster that I've had with the revamp so far and the realization that I've come to. So I go into my first tier 8 alert today with Rock, and here's what I did. So I'm all super excited about the fact that now I don't have to spec into weapon trees in order to just get to my might and precision. And the first thing I decided to do is use an all might based power set. It's melee, which I normally don't do because basically I like range DPS, but I wanted to do the most damage. So I picked this melee power focused play from the tray loadout, and I jumped in. And if you have played Earth, you know that for the most part Earth has been Crystal does a lot of damage, and you just kind of stand back and watch. And so now that's very different. So I jump in, I'm doing some decent damage, it feels good, I get creamed by a boss, and it just went like that from there. It was like I had basically, because I wasn't forced to spec into health, because I got the option to just bypass that, I spec'd all into might. I spec'd in power, of course, because you get that with the might. And I was just a glass cannon again. It reminded me of the days when, you'd get spit on by an ad and die as a DPS. So then that starts the tank. He's pissed off that he's got a tank because he wanted a DPS too. And it becomes obvious that everybody's going to have to play their roles. The power back was just not what we were used to, obviously, with advanced mechanics. And so the controller's pissed he's got to control. The healer's telling people, didn't you read anything on the on how this was going to go? You're going to have to play roles now. The tank's complaining the whole way through that things are going too slow. I'm getting killed like 4 or 5 times a boss. And so I went out and I respec'd and I put some more stuff into to health, and then I found a ranged loadout for Earth, and I ended up using weapons attacks, a combo. Like they say, they prefer things to be a mixed bag, and that ended up working pretty good for Earth. And then after I did that and started playing, it was a different world. Everything was smooth, it flowed freely, and so it's expectation of what's going to happen here versus what actually happens. Todd Baker says, Revamp has been great for me so far. Love trying out all the rage options, and think I've got a pretty good tank loadout. Nice. True Gambit, what's up, buddy? I saw you're excited about it. I think I did. Yeah, you posted some stuff today about enjoying yourself. Says you're very interested to see my rage loadouts. That's cool. Yeah, it's just a lot of stuff happening. And but what I'll start by doing is walking through the rage loadout, because I'm excited about rage. And I did not come up with this loadout. So I'll tell you guys that up front. I got this from OG Mentor. He did a very good video on the Rage loadout, and it looked so fun I wanted to try it. It is similar to something that I've used in the past with Rage, but Lizard Man, I'm going to cry myself to sleep. What power are you, Lizard Man? I'm interested. Maybe we can help, because like I said, Earth, I don't think Earth's going to be my power set for Rock anymore. I think it's going to change, but we'll see. And this guy, it's hard for me to decide if Rage is going to be worth changing to, because this character doesn't have many skill points. So what we have here, let's check everything out here, since I've been kind of rambling on. I can tell you stories as we go. So the first thing you notice, obviously, when you log in is you got to pick your weapon. And I just put 1 into Brawling, because with Rage, with the loadout that I'm using, I'm not using weapons at all. So I really just need to have that so that I can have a weapon equipped. And then, which is oddly enough, there was not one equipped on Rock, but there is one equipped on this tune, so I don't know what's up. Oh, your munitions. I know nothing about that. I'm sorry, man. But I know who does. So I think there are a couple of munitions loadouts floating around. I'll try to see if I can look up. True Gambit says I'm like a DC idol to you. Oh, that's so nice. Thanks, man. So anyway, I just got the one weapon, and we go to our flight, of course, and get that, because I don't want to be stuck without that. I went, and he suggested to get the android, or the robot sidekick, so I used one of my skill points to get the robot sidekick. I went to the stat points. I put it 1 stat in superpowered, and I tried to mix this up the best I could, because I need the crits more than most things, but I don't have enough skill points to get all of them, plus get the might and power that I'm going to need to be efficient. So with this tune, what I noticed right off the bat was the power back is pathetic for him, because I don't have much power. So the passive power or whatever that they talked about, I'm not getting very much of. So, but I filled up critical attack chance. I've got 20 out of the 40 in critical attack damage. I probably should do more, but I'll get him there as soon as I can. And then I put 30, which is, I feel like really sad, 30 of 175 in might and power. So you can see the stats that I'm working with here at my combat rating of 106. My might is 4,146, and my precision is 1,808. So, you know, I'm not going to be doing much damage with this tune. Let's just say that. But, you know, it is what it is. So the rotation that he suggested, an OG mentor did this. I'm not going to take credit for it. The rotation is as follows, and I mixed it up. He did things from left to right. I like to start with my right trigger, triangle, or square, then triangle, then go to my left trigger X, left trigger box, left trigger triangle if I have to. But the first thing you do is pop your robot sidekick. Then you put out Galing Eruption, which is your damage over time, and you clip that with Severe Punishment. So I guess I just told you that all up backwards. Oh, my vibe level is like, I don't think he's to the 20s yet. So so that's what, you know, put out my damage over time, clip it with Severe Punishment, which is going to give you, and that's the rage one. So you heal back a portion of your damage taken for 8 seconds. But in DPS role, it gives you a searing aura that damages nearby enemies over time, which is a little different than what it used to be. And then my superpower is this Berserk. Focus your hate, causing all damage you deal to be dealt again to nearby enemies for a short time. So even though this is a ranged DPS loadout, there is a melee kind of aspect to it. Because, you know, even when I range, like if I say I'm going to range, I may be talking about the tanks in the middle here collecting the ads. I may be right here, you know, behind these guys DPSing. I just don't like to get up here is what I'm saying. So so that, and then what you do is once you've got your damage over time out, this is what I really like about it. Once you've got your damage over time out, you can hit this, and I seriously think this is a new power. I don't remember this one at all. Frenetic Bombardment. You hit it once, and then you tap it 4 times. You can do 4 more combos as you after hitting it once, and then you can clip the last one into Dreadful Blast. After Dreadful Blast is on its last, because you can hold range 2 times on it. So on its last one, you can clip it back into Frenetic Bombardment and just keep going until you need to put your damage over time out again. So it's pretty much just kind of popping this, then bam, 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 over and over again. But it looks super cool and it's fun. So I'm going to try it. Forgive me because I get, it's been a while since I've played Rage, so I get kind of excited with my combos and start screwing them up. But I'm just going to start with my damage over time, and then start again. But you can see that I lost power. Like, I got no power back from that at all. Then the damage with this tune is pretty sad, 2,073 per second. So, but I'm hoping that if I try this with rock, it'll end up being better. Do I have any sodas? Yeah, I have all kinds of sodas. Why don't I have them equipped? That'll help. So let's try it again and see if I can keep the power coming back. But it's kind of, that's my downfall so far. This tune just doesn't have enough power to keep it going. So, and we just clip it. And then my power's gone again. So, and then it's over. And that's why I'm not sure that I'm gonna switch rock to rage quite yet, is because I remember the days of if you didn't have a healer or a controller in your hip pocket all the time, you just sucked as a DPS. And so that's why I kind of want to keep him doing a combination of weapons and powers so that I don't end up in a situation where I just have to stand there and not be able to hit anything. True Gambit says we've got about the same loadout for range rage, and you need a weapon to get power back. I went hybrid. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to have to do too, is go hybrid on the, even though I'm using rage, and I would like to just not have to use a weapon. I think I'm going to have to get the power back, because the power back that's on the weapons stuff is just not, it's just not working. So, and then I know, I'm sure you guys all know that you got the replacement mod boxes, if you remember, that got emailed to you. And so what happens when you pop that puppy open is you get all of the above, and so it gives you prefab mod exchange kits. It gives you equipment mod surplus box, which is for your generator mod surplus box, and equipment mod exchange kit. So so that's that. And because I really don't want to just be out of power all the time in some kind of a mission, I'm going to switch over to rock and show you guys the earth stuff. And then I'm stuck with this dilemma of, do I go ahead and change his power or not? Because you know, basically I've got a lot of skill points with him, and I'd like to use them, not necessarily for what I'm doing with oh, jeezy Pete's. Gotta wait 10 seconds to log out because I'm somewhere near an enemy, it thinks. Lizard Man's gotta go. Thanks for joining the stream, man. See you next time. Hopefully you get something going on for you there with munitions. I've never even played munitions, so I have no idea what to tell you on that, bud. But I have seen that there are some videos out there, so hopefully somebody's got some testing going on that end that can help. And so then later, decisions. So I guess I can still do that. I could go ahead and go rage with rock and still use combo, or not combo, but hybrid, so that I can use my weapon if I need to. Because I just don't have to put a whole ton of stuff in precision.
Take this pen, or
Can you say? I also noticed today that I had to wait a little bit to get logged in. There's a ton of action on the servers, which is good for the game, obviously. See, like now, it's taken me a while to get logged in, but that's okay. So I got to test. I've got a couple quantum tunes. I want to test out quantum and see which loadouts to use. I've got Lida's got a mental tune. We'll end up working with that to see what's up. But basically, it's just a big old game of investigation with 16 tunes times 2, because each of us has 16, I think. And it's going real slow so far, because I basically, you know, I get obsessive with one of the loadouts, and then I'm like, gotta test it this, and if I do this, does it do any more damage? And no, seriously, the game's not gonna let me log in now. It's like, you will not play. See, look at that. The queue is back. There we go, maybe. We'll stare at alright. So with rock, I've got 2 loadouts. I'm going to go down and save this one and make sure that, because then I'll switch back and forth. I'll show you guys both the range and the melee. Just want to make sure that I saved. Let's see which one I saved to where. I'll save this one over here, just in case. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I may change to rage after the stream. It's just because I've missed that power so much, and now it's viable again. And so here's what I've got right now. I put mostly might in my generator mods. These are the might mods they sent us for the member boxes. And then I got the health and power. With him, I tend to get a little bit more power back, so it's all good. But like I'll show you what I ended up doing with this one. So for my weapons, and I went ahead and did weapon mastery, and because I like the brawling and the martial arts shuriken storm mastery, so I went ahead and do that. This is my range loadout, and I realized no, they did not put. Weird. Got my flight, of course. No iconic powers with him. I don't need them. My stat points, I put in this one. I put in hybrid. Put 20 in the crits, 40 in the crits, 41 into precision, because I figured if I'm going to be using weapon damage just to get power back, I still want to be able to do a little damage with it. And then I put the rest, 96 of them, into might and power. So with him, I've got a little bit better look here as far as the stats, and it's very close to what I had before. 13,577 with might, 6,668 with precision. Health is 24,000 something, and power 16,000 something. My power dropped significantly. My vit dropped significantly. Might's just about where it was before, and my vit is very close to where it was before. And I don't have any mods on right now. I held off on doing mods until I figure out whether I'm going to switch powers or whether I'm going to do hybrid or might based or what. So, but my rotation for this is, and I took this from a couple of different people. True Gambit asking me about the robot sidekick. Honestly, I don't know. I haven't got to test it a lot. That was just what OG Mentor suggested, and I remember that it did help quite a bit in damage before when I used it in the past. So I think it is going to help, especially if you're using hybrid. Because even though the robot sidekick is, in my opinion, I think it's might based now. Even though it's might based, when you're doing those weapons combos, you might be doing just a little bit less damage than when you're using might. And so that's a way that you can have a little bit of steady might damage happening even when you're rebuilding power. And that's just my opinion, but I think that's kind of the idea behind it. So, my loadout. Damn, if I can remember to go to the right place. Alright, so with this one, this is for range. And actually, I've seen a couple of different range loadouts with Earth. So I kind of adapted a little bit of both of them. So I start out with debris field, because that gives you your PI. I put out 2 pieces of PI. I don't know if that's right to do or not, but I get debris field and rumble crush. So I clip debris field with reinforce, because reinforce gives your increases your weapon damage, and then I hit rumble crush. So then I've got two DOTs going at the same time. It looks like. I don't think I'm canceling them out. Then I throw out upheaval clipped in with my weapon mastery. And the whole time I'm doing that, I pay attention to when I need to power up Fortify Golem. And this does a little bit less damage than the loadout that I was using for melee, but it gives me the freedom to move around. And you'll see what I mean when I start doing both of these. It gives me the freedom to move around. It gives me power back a lot quicker. It feels a lot less like a broken game when I'm playing it. Because to be honest with you, when I first switched the loadouts and started playing that first mission, and I was using the melee loadout, it felt broke. Like it just did not. I had no survivability. I was getting no power back. I even had a controller, and I was barely getting any power. And it just didn't feel right. So when I switched to the range, it felt much better. Maybe that's just me. Maybe the second time through, I got used to it a little bit more. But I don't know. And so I want to test a few different power sets and see if... Okay, I always go the wrong damn direction in the league hall. I think I'm doing it right now. Oh, yes, I am going the wrong direction.